What's up, everybody? We are logging 14 and a half miles today, something like that, 14 or 15. Capping off the week of a deload week, actually, with plans to ramp back up the next few weeks and get those legs churning. So I just had a little bit of fuel, 2 scoops of G1M Sport. I've got 2 more here in the bottle to refuel and refill the soft flasks for during the run that I'll carry with me. I feel like I'm really close. That's a little bit too close. You probably don't want to see me that close. Here we go. With that, I'll also have about 2 Go Gels per hour, the BPN Go Gels. I have apple cinnamon and mango left. I need to order more, actually. And I want to try the caffeinated ones, but as of now, they only have the mixed berry and not my favorite flavor. So I might wait until they come out with caffeinated versions of their other flavors, or come out with new flavors that offer the caffeinated lineup. So I'm gonna gather up my things. I'm gonna grab Waylon because he's gonna come along with me, and we'll head down to the farm. And he's just the moment I said head down to the farm, he perked right up. He's sitting on the couch right now. We're gonna go down to the farm and we are gonna go log some miles. Before we run, these are the house chickens. That's Penny and that's Bentley. We're actually gonna move their chicken coop, put them on some fresher grass. And Penny got out. And is pigging out on worms. Stay hydrated, little buddies. Gonna be warm today. About 75 degrees. Much warmer than we've been used to. So we got Waylon in the car. And Oliver wanted to join. Full crew, guys. Oliver probably won't go for any sort of running today. Although he has run 1 full loop, which is about a little over 3 miles, at a slow pace, very slow pace. We had to stop often, but he did it, which is surprising because he's got tiny little legs and he's just a stout little fella. But Waylon, on the other hand, last weekend on our Saturday long run, he went the full 4 loops. Which totaled about a little under 15 miles. We're gonna try to repeat that again today. We'll see if he follows along for the whole duration. Sometimes he gets bored and he just kind of hangs out by the car, moseys around, chases after birds and squirrels, you know, does dog stuff. So happy with the quick recovery. Obviously, perk of the trade, being a physical therapist. So I see I don't see any impact for today's run. Legs are fresh, legs are strong. It's a beautiful day. Looking forward to getting a good old sweat on, you know. Which reminds me that I probably should have packed extra electrolytes, and I didn't. So we will probably have to replenish a substantial amount after the run. because I am a heavy sweater. And this is a very warm day compared to what it's been the past couple of weeks. So, body's not necessarily used to it, but hey, we're gonna get through, we're gonna survive, we'll be stronger for it on the other end, and we'll make up for it later in the day. What a beautiful day. A little over halfway done with this run. I'm actually gonna shorten it up by one loop, so it's gonna end up being about 10.8 miles on the day, and I'm gonna repeat that tomorrow. Was thinking about it through the first lap, and the purpose of a deload week is to truly deload. And again, because I'm going through a fairly aggressive ramp up, which will continue the next 2 to 3 weeks, I want to make sure that I give my legs the chance to recover. Run is complete. We finished 10.86 miles in an hour 21 seconds at a 9:47 minute per mile pace, and averaged about 144 beats per minute. So that included several bouts of power hiking or power walking through some steeper inclines when the heart rate would start to spike up over 150 to keep it in that zone 2 aerobic work zone, as well as working on my just general power hiking, speed walking, especially on a climb, working on some of that technique, because like I've said before, that was a weak point in Last Man Standing last year, and will come in handy for the Cut 112. Both of those are a bit alluding to what I'll be talking about with you guys later. I'm hungry. I think it's time well, the dogs didn't actually run with me. They're hanging out with Carly and Dan, so I gotta go grab the dogs, bring them back home, and then I'm gonna eat something quick, probably grill up some chicken, and then head to the store to pick up a couple things for dinner. Feeling a steak tonight, steak and potatoes. So, let me go do that, and I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Hey everybody. I realize I kind of look stupid in the double green, but here we are. So I just got back from my lift, a little shoulder and arm circuit, and I got dinner prepping now. Some steak and potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, the works for tonight to fuel up after today's long run and lift like I just talked to you guys about. But sitting down to discuss a little bit about what my racing plans are for the year. Like I said earlier, you guys see me doing a lot of running. That's the primary mode of exercise that I do on a daily basis. But those miles are geared towards something specific. And so I wanted this video to be a little bit about what my plans in terms of running racing events are for this year. So I have 2 races that I am currently signed up for this year. Both of them are ultra marathons. The first one is the Cut 112 ultra marathon, which is actually happening on June 6th. This is what I'm currently training for, what a lot of my mileage is ramping up to take on. It is a 112-mile ultramarathon race, traversing the entire, height of Connecticut, north to south, from the Massachusetts border all the way down to not New Guilford, just regular old Guilford, Connecticut, on the Long Island Sound. Like I said, it's a 112-mile race. What it does is it follows along the blue blazes. So trails, trail markers have different colors and different symbols, if you will. And so this particular race, the course is along the blue blazes of the New England Trail. So like I said, it's 112 miles, and over the span of that 112 miles, I will be accumulating about 17,000 feet of vert, which is far more than anything I have completed up to this point. The longest race that I've done, or running event, is 78 miles in a 24-hour event that I completed 2 years ago now, I believe. And in terms of straight distance events, 50 milers, 2 50-milers, and then a race that I did last year, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, that ended up being about 40 miles. So I first heard about this race from 2 friends who signed up for it last year. And so initially hearing about it, I wanted nothing to do with it because it's on a lot of technical trail, and that's just not my strong suit. I much prefer, single track gravel road, stuff like that, where you don't have to necessarily be constantly paying attention to what you're running on, and you can just kind of lock in and suffer. However, when I crewed for these guys last year, I ran portions of the overnight. I ended up logging about 15 miles with them before they ultimately pulled out of the race. Around, I think it was about 1 a.m. was when we finished, and I picked them up around 8:30, 9 o'clock that night. So I ran a couple of hours with them through the dark. That crewing for them that day lit a fire in me to take that event on. One, to get them to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, what they set out to accomplish last year, and unfortunately were unable to do. But two, something about the technicality of the trail, a little bit of the unknown of never having run through those areas of Connecticut. It's somewhat in the backyard, if you will, from where I grew up in Massachusetts, as well as somewhat near where I currently live. And then just being born and raised in New England, something called to me, if you will, with this being the New England Trail. So after talking it over with my buddy Wakely, he and I have signed up for it. Unfortunately, this year they are not officially running it, so there was no formal sign up on Ultra Sign Up. The traditional registration was you would make a $112 donation to the Connecticut Forest Association or Forest and Parks Association, something like that, and that was your registration, and all proceeds went towards the Forest and Park Association to help support the trails, right? A real grassroots project, if you will. And so unfortunately, because they're not officially running it, it won't count as a qualifier for some other races that I have hopes for down the road. But that's okay. We will check those off when the time comes. But we will be unofficially running this race. We'll still make the donation, but on June 6th is a Friday, 8 a.m. He and I will set off from the Massachusetts border. I believe it's Southwick, Mass, which I actually used to live in when I was in grad school. That's where I was living at the time. And we will give it our best effort to make it down to Guilford, Connecticut to see that Long Island Sound and fucking jump in that water, man, because after 112 miles, we will be rank. But I'm really, really excited for this event. Like I said, it's grabbed my attention and has sunk its claws in since last year crewing, and I'm really looking forward to running it. That being said, this is still somewhat of a B race for me, if you will, or a B event, and is going to act as a really nice jumping point, segue to my A race, if you will, which is going to be Last Man Standing up in New Gloucester, Maine at Pineland Farms on August 30th, 2025. Labor Day weekend, which is convenient. Also happens to be the day before Casey's birthday. I ran this last year, and unfortunately had some body issues. Nothing ever really quite felt right. Started off with some GI stuff, and that lingered for a couple of hours, couple of laps. And then it turned into, actually, although unrelated, it turned into some significant nerve issues that I was experiencing down into my leg. Numbness, tingling, burning, pins and needles, all following specific nerve roots, indicating that I was getting a lot of spinal nerve root compression. I've never had this before, and knowing what I know as a physical therapist, knew that that wasn't something to necessarily push through, because that could have potentially led to longer lasting issues and deficits down the road. So I ended up pulling out at the 9th hour, and that was a really shitty feeling to have to throw the towel in, because I've never quit on anything in my life, and so that has haunted me pretty much ever since that day. And literally the next day, or maybe it was the day after that, whenever the race completed and registration opened up, within 30 seconds of getting the notification, I signed back up. I asked Casey, again, because it fell on her birthday, it's her birthday weekend. I asked her if she minded if I signed up for it again. And she said that she had an amazing time getting to spend a lot of time with her family. Her mom actually lives 10 minutes from the farm where the race is run. So she was able to see a lot of her cousins who live up in that area. She was able to spend the weekend with her mom. It was a good excuse to go up there for her birthday, which she hasn't been able to spend time with her family on her birthday in a couple of years. So in a way, it's a win-win. So thankfully, I'm lucky enough that she is supportive of me and my crazy endeavors with running. And she gave me the green light to sign up again. And so that is the A event. And that is where I will get absolute redemption. I don't have a goal yet. I don't have a target distance. But 9 hours is not going to be my forever stamp on that race. I am going to far, far exceed that number. Where I wind up, I don't know, but I can promise that it will not be at 9 hours. But let me take a bit of a step back and talk about the Last Man Standing. So it is a loop-based race. In the span of 1 hour, you have to run it ends up being, they mark it as a 4.2 mile loop. My GPS was picking it up closer to 4.4 in the span of an hour. So not a long distance to run in that time. And you go every hour on the hour until, as the name suggests, there is one person left. So yeah, that is what I'm training for currently. That is where my mind is at. The primary focus right now is going to be the Cut 112 on June 6th, which puts us, I believe I think it's 9 weeks out, 10 weeks out now. But the primary goal this year is to fucking crush it at Last Man Standing. So that closes out what my race plans are for this year. I'm going to go finish making up dinner because I am absolutely fucking starving. And then I'm going to chill out for the rest of the evening because we got another 11 miles to run tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.